Hello, everybody. Welcome to yoga. My name is Gigi Matthews, and I do yoga for people who think they can't do yoga. So if you're wearing comfortable clothes and you've got yourself a nice sturdy chair, go ahead and sit down and just relax. Let's take a half an hour to breathe, to move, get some circulation happening, pump that lymphatic fluid around the body, and relax all of those Zoom muscles that we've been using today. Our shoulders, our upper back, our lower back, and everything in between. If you've never done yoga with me before, I do a breath-based yoga. Everything is done in coordination with the breath. So before I start, I'll just give a little introduction. So breath-based yoga is sort of like when you get up in the morning and yawn. You know, when you give that nice big yawn, and it feels fantastic. What a great stretch. But you actually don't realize it because you're so lost in the yawn, in the breath, in the inhale and in the exhale. And that's really what we're aiming for with this style of yoga. It doesn't matter how flexible you are, how much you can move. What matters is that you can really enjoy the inhale, really enjoy the exhale, like a yawn. Go ahead and get lost in the breath. So we can test this. If you just simply, if I say raise your hands and then lower your hands, okay. But let's do that with the breath. So I'm going to ask you to raise your hands at the pace of your inhale and lower them at the pace of your exhale. And remember, your exhale is longer than your inhale. So with a nice deep breath, wherever the hands want to go, inhale, raise the hands. And when you start to exhale and feel the torso move down, let the hands follow that momentum down. And that's what I mean by breath-based yoga. There's a real difference when you use the breath. The second thing I want to say is that it's not Simon Says. This is yoga that's meant for everybody, no matter your age, your physical condition. Everybody can breathe and everybody can sit in a chair and move. So we can all do this. So don't feel that you have to play Simon Says and do what I do. If I say bring the hands out to here and you can do this, that's absolutely fine. Don't do anything that you don't think you can do. Stay with your comfort zone. I guarantee you, if you could bring your hands just to here and do the movements, if you did that every day, flexibility would come naturally. So don't try to do anything that you're not capable of doing. Take it easy. Let the breath guide you. Get lost in the breath. The last thing that I'll say is that I'm coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, because we're on Zoom now. So you may hear honking and sirens and music blasting. Welcome to Brooklyn. And that is kind of the point of yoga. We cannot control the weather, but we can adjust our sails. So no matter what kind of day you're having, we can all sit, do some breathing, do some stretching, and just let everything else go, at least until 6:15. So let's get started. So we're going to start with just posture. On a nice, slow, long inhale, let the lower back move forward and it moves a little upward. It's a small movement. And on the exhale, just feel yourself settling back down into the chair. Every inhale, the lower back moves a little tiny forward and upward movement. And every exhale, just feel yourself exhaling down into the chair as if you could breathe through the hips. And just keep going at your own pace. Make the breath a little longer, a little smoother, as if you could spin it into a lovely, smooth, fine yarn. And every exhale, just notice without trying, the body settles back down to where you started. And we're just getting the lower back moving, just getting used to coordinating our breath with our movement. and settling down, settling in. So the next time that you exhale, just allow yourself to stay in the chair. No rush, everything is done at your own time. And then when you're ready, you can take the back of your hands and just place them on those side ribs. So you'll get a little stretch to your wrists. If that's not comfortable for you, just bring the palms facing up on your lap. And then here, we're going to direct our breath into the side ribs. Again, easy, long, smooth breaths. Notice how the rib cage stretches out. Notice how much on the exhale it sinks back down. So direct the breath into the sides of the ribs, the sides of the lungs. I call this the east-west breath. Imagine that you're breathing out, sending the breath east and west. And exhale, feel how the rib cage is so large, comes down so much. We have a lot of room for breath capacity. We're stretching the little muscles in between each rib, the intercostal muscles. And again, keeping the breath measured, smooth and easy. We're telling our nervous system to gear down, come into a different zone. So on your next exhalation, again, no rush. You can release the hands to the lap if they're not already there. And we're going to change the breath a little bit more. So this time we're going to inhale long and smooth, fill the chest, lift the chest. And exhale, just allow yourself to float back to the start. So on your inhale, fill the chest, broaden the collarbones. And on the exhale, go ahead and allow yourself, just like a dandelion puff, to float back down. And as you keep doing this at the pace of your breath, you might find that you can imagine that on the inhale, imagine the top of your head could actually come up against the ceiling. And as you exhale, keep the head stuck to the ceiling, but let the rest of the body float back down. So every inhalation, top of the head against the ceiling. Every exhale, body goes down, head stays on the ceiling. So we're getting a nice long neck, long spine, long breath. So the next time that you exhale back down, just stay there. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. And now direct the breath to the whole rib cage, the back ribs, the side ribs, the chest. Imagine that with every inhalation, you're breathing out 360 degrees from that rib cage, back, side, and front. Every inhale, just notice the rib cage coming back down. Everything always naturally goes back to center. The body is always finding harmony. We just have to let it. So just notice the breath. Make the breath as long and smooth as you can. Enjoy that exhalation where the breath seems to float you down like a feather. And then on your next exhalation, just return to a natural breath. Again, no rush. Breathe naturally, and then imagine a tree. And it can be a tree from your backyard, from a park, from your childhood. But just put yourself under that tree Just sit there, put your back against the trunk. Notice the quality of the air. Notice the quality of the light as light comes through the leaves. Allow yourself to sit under that tree and just breathe. How often do we get to just sit and breathe? Notice the sunlight coming through the leaves above. What is the landscape like around you? Lose yourself in that landscape under the tree as we just breathe for 1 minute. And as we're sitting under this tree, I remember a quote from Pema Chodron who said, "You are the sky. Everything else, it's just the weather." So again, bringing the breath back to a nice, long, smooth, easy state. On your next exhalation, imagine or allow the neck to wilt over to the right. And then on the inhalation, let the inhale raise it back up to center. And the next exhale will wilt the neck over to the left. Or just imagine, if your neck is stiff, just imagine. Every inhale brings the head back up to center. And every exhale wilts it from side to side. And again, let the breath do the work. Don't feel like you need to try. On the inhale, imagine a string just pulling the head up. And on the exhale, you don't have to do anything. Just be a puppet whose string is being let go. Again, we're coordinating the breath to the movement, and we're getting lost in the breath. And the next time that the head rises upward to the center, just let it stay there. And then take a nice deep breath. And on the exhale, let the chin sink towards the chest. Breathing here for a moment. And on your next inhale, allow the head to roll to the right. And use the exhale to simply let go and let the chin float back to the chest. And the next inhale, the head will roll towards the left. Gentle movement. Take it really easy. On the exhale, let go. Let the chin float back down towards the chest. And just keep going from side to side. Again, let the breath do the work. On the inhale, imagine that the head was just being pulled on a string ever so gently. And on the exhale, the string goes slack and the chin rolls gently towards the chest, side to side. Lose yourself in the breath. And the next time that you inhale the head over towards the right side, just let it stay there and breathe. No rush again, your own time. Notice how on an exhale you can ungrip. Maybe it's the left shoulder. Use the exhale to ungrip it. And then shift your eyes, your gaze only, over to the left. You'll have a bit of a micro movement in the neck. And then shift the gaze, your eyes over to the right, and there'll be a slight tiny movement in the neck again. And you can just keep shifting the eyes from the left to the right. Hardly any movement in the neck, but there may be a spot where you think, oh, I want to just stay here and breathe. Then go ahead and hang out in whatever spot that is. Breath is smooth and silky and long. And on your next exhalation, let go. Let the chin gently roll back towards the chest and use the next inhale to bring the head over towards the left side and breathe there. Again, no rush. Take your time. Breath is smooth and long, easy. And then you can shift your gaze over to the right. You'll notice a tiny movement in the neck. Shift the gaze over towards the left, another tiny movement. And go ahead and shift the gaze back and forth gently, easily. And you may find a spot where you think, oh, I want to really hang out here. Go ahead, hang out and breathe. Or you may like to keep shifting gaze, having that tiny little neck massage and stretch. Maybe that's what you need right now. And on your next exhalation, just relax the body and the chin will roll down towards the chest. And just breathe there when you get there. No rush. And on your next inhalation, gently allow the head to rise carefully, gently back up to center. And then you can let the arms come down by your sides and have the wrists in line with the hips. And that's always a good posture check. If you're sitting or standing and the wrists are forward from the hips, you know you're hunching. So get the wrists over in line with the hips. And let's do a little bit of shoulder rolls. So we'll inhale, shoulders rise towards the ears. Exhale, slowly roll them back and they'll gently come down. And we'll just keep breathing like that. Every inhale, rising up, and every exhale, rolling slowly back and down. And again, match the pace of your breath to the movement. This is a really luxurious movement. I love this one. I really enjoy it. Take as long as you want to enjoy that exhalation, rolling back and down. So luxurious. And then just do one more. So the next time that the shoulders roll back and down, just let them stay there. And just breathe. Notice the quality of your posture. Notice if the wrists want to come forward, bring them back, little shoulder roll, get them in line with the hips. And then we'll switch to do a little bit of twisting. So I'm going to come a little forward on my seat just to make some space behind the back of my chair. And I've got my hips or my legs at hip width apart. And I'm going to take one hand and just place it on the opposite leg, and the remaining hand will just go behind me and rest on the chair. If you're somebody who's used to doing yoga twists, you can hold on to the back of the chair. That will give you a more strenuous twist. But here, we're going to be twisting in that direction that you naturally feel like twisting into. So you're going to take a nice deep breath, let the body rise up. And as you exhale, twist at the hips like a mason jar top. Gaze is level. Go to the point where you think that's enough and just stay there and breathe. Don't overdo it. You may need to back out of the twist a little bit. Find that Goldilocks spot where you feel the twist, but it's not too much. And then switch the attention of your breath to the exhalations. So on the inhales, the torso naturally rises. On the exhalation, notice if there's a little more space in the pose, maybe a little more room to twist. See what comes with that breath. Notice on the inhale how the chest rises, but on the exhale, is there a little bit more space, room, maybe even a little more twist comes? And to come out of the twist, all you need to do is on an exhalation, gently allow the body to completely relax, slowly, and you will naturally untwist without even having to try. Just exhale and relax, and you'll come back to center gently and slowly. So of course, we have to twist to the other side. So let's do that. Take one hand to the other leg, and the remaining hand rests behind you or can hold the chair. Start with a nice rising inhale, and as you exhale, just simply go into that twist, level gaze, Goldilocks spot, not too much. And then breathe. Notice how the chest rises on the inhale. On the exhale, notice if there's a little more space. Again, you want that long, easy, silky breath. But put extra attention to the exhalation. Maybe there's a little bit more space or twist. And in yoga, they say that the twists are like wringing out a wet rag. But we're doing this to our abdominal organs, to everything in the trunk. We're really wringing it out, bringing circulation, moving the lymphatic fluid. So on your next exhalation, you know what to do. Simply gently relax the body, and you don't even need to try. Come right out of the twist. So now we'll try a little bit of camel pose, Estrasana. So all you need to do here is bring the hands behind you. You can place the back of the hands against the lower back. You can hold the back of the chair if you like, the back things, whatever they're called. And if you have your hands behind you, you can bring them up as high as you want. Back of the hands can come against the back rib cage, or bring it all the way down to the chair, whatever feels comfortable for your shoulders. Again, our legs are hip width apart, and all we're going to do is breathe. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, just allow yourself to float back down effortlessly. So every inhalation, lift the chest and the chin. Maybe the gaze lifts as well. Every exhale, just let go, floating back down like a feather. And keep on going at your own pace of breath. Nice long filling inhalations. exhale, you get to practice letting go. And for most people, they're more comfortable with having to make effort, less comfortable with being able to let go. Psychologically, emotionally, physically. So here's your practice. Practice a nice big inhale, effort. On your exhale, practice simply letting go. And for some of you, you might notice that there's a pause at the top of the inhale with perfect stillness for a second or two. And then you go back down with the exhalation. Go ahead if you feel comfortable and right at the top of the inhale, dwell in that moment of perfect stillness for a second or two before allowing yourself to float back down. Everybody always says that yoga is about the breath, but it's actually about the pause in between the breath. So we'll do one more. The next time that you exhale yourself back down, just stay there. And allow the hands to come around front to the lap. And then we're going to simply bring the middle finger and the index finger to the hinge of the jaw and just circle there. No need to put pressure, just circle and then reverse the circle. Again, no pressure, just circling one way and the other on the hinge of the jaw. And on an exhale, drag the fingers to the chin. And on an inhale, press the fingers back up to the hinge of the jaw. And just keep going for another minute. Every exhalation, drag the fingers to the chin. Every inhale will push them back up to the hinges of the jaw. Enjoy that little bit of massage and let the hinges of the jaw go slack on the exhalation. All the talking, all the smiling, all the expressions you've had to do, release that tension from the jaw. Again, practice letting go. And the next time that the fingers come to the chin, release them into the lap. And then interlace the fingers together and just turn the hands out towards the lap. If you straighten your arms, don't pull them out of the shoulders, bring them in a bit. And then just here, again, long breaths. Every exhale, let the fingers sink deeper in. And we're almost at the end of our yoga time. So whenever you feel like that's enough, you can feel free to release the fingers. And I'll leave you with a lovely little quote from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who said, "Remember this, that very little is needed to make a happy life." Hope to see you tomorrow for yoga. Thanks for joining me.